Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. What an exciting week. It's Winter Cane Immersion 2023 for the American Cane Boxing Certification. And so we're excited. But today we are going to cover, this is a popular application and strategy for caners. But let's take a look at how effective it really is. And is there a better way? So stick around. Warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Go ahead and avail yourself. There's two things you need to do right away. Well, three things. If you like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And also avail yourself of two free resources. The first one is the no-cost Cane Clarity Call. That's where we get with you, listen to what is important to you, and then give you an action plan to actually get cane trained where you are. We can also answer any and all of your questions regarding the cane culture. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. And then we have a private Facebook group which is open to the general public. Read it in the description. It's called Cane Flow. Request entry. They will let you right in. What am I referring to? This is a very popular, caners pretty much agree. Yep, it's an effective strike. I've done it before, and I'm referring to midline strikes that are coming in using, it could be one hand, it could be two hand, but what is commonly referred to as, some people refer to it as a bayonet strike, but essentially it's something that looks either like this, or like this, or like this, and it's coming to the midline. Gets demonstrated on, heavy bags and things like that. So what's ACSD's position on that? What's our take on it? And there's been discussions on different forums, so I'm going to bring clarity to you. I'm going to offer the following. For starters, ACSD does have midline strikes. You see them in your 12 strike and defense zone templates, but they're very specific. Let me tell you where the confusion comes in. And the first thing is, for instance, if you're using the term bayonet strike, which we do not, a bayonet is what? Essentially, you can think of it as something that's going to pierce, something that is like a spear, like a dagger. And today, for our purposes, who cares? You hear all these discussions as to whether it was dropped. Who cares? You're not going to hang around with that in the street. That's number one. Why it was dropped? Well, there's armor and it was used. Doesn't matter. You're borrowing from something that is a different tool, and you're bringing it to something that's an impact tool. And when you're not clear, now listen carefully. In ACSD, there are power shot templates that can be used with a blade. Yes, they can, but you have to be very clear. When we go out there and we're talking about a bayonet strike, especially as an opener, ACSD does not teach, promote anything like that. And I'll show you what we discovered a long time ago. And you can test this yourself. Check this out. So Vanessa's going to come in here. And we're going to go as an opening strike. She's going to come to my midline, and I've demonstrated this, by the way. I've demonstrated this live. I've demonstrated it at immersions. I've demonstrated, and I tell, take your best shot. She's going to come in with a shot that's coming. She can come up high, however she can come in, and I have just walked right through the shots with my hands low. I walk up all the time, say, take your best midline shot as an opener. That's going to be your opening shot. So we're having a discussion, and you come in here and you say, well, you're a skilled guy, you know it's coming. Guys, you test this for yourself. There's a reason for this, and that is that opponent is not a statue. He's living. He's got intentions to do harm. He's got reflexes. He can see it coming because you're coming to his midline. So he sees that strike. And so please stop telling me that it's an effective strike because you practice it on a heavy bag and it topples the heavy bag, or you hit a bob bag and that bag isn't going to do anything to get that strike coming out of the way. The fact that you're proving that you've got power behind it, I don't. Sure, you can have power, but how effective is it going to be if it doesn't land? right? So is there a way, is there a time and a place for this type of midline strike? And the answer is yes, but not as your initial strike that's going to incapacitate. I mean, it would have to be, I don't like it personally, and it's not part of ACSD. So how do you use ACSD, by the way? Instead of doing that, you've heard me many times before, take out the limbs, you win. Instead of set that down, instead of coming in here as an initial strike, well, listen, we're up here and then something is boom, and there it is, right? Or if you have to be first as an initial strike, take out, how's she going to stop that? How's she going to come down here? I'm looking up here, I'm not telegraphing it, and I'm taking out the wheels. And by the way, our power shot template is multiple strikes, right? We train as if it was going to last longer than it actually does. Why? Because a lot of times that individual's jacked up on adrenaline. So you're not going to incapacitate necessarily. Yes, even when you have one of our bazookas. Listen to what I keep saying, incapacitate. I have seen, and many of you watching right now, when you're jacked up on adrenaline and something comes at you here and hits you in the abdomen, I can flex that abdomen. I'm jacked up, boom, I'll take it. I'll take it and rebound and get right in if you don't have a follow-up. But very few people can take broken bones, right, when you get hit with that. Even when they're, but you have to respect and take into consideration that when they're on adrenaline, these things can happen. Now, what's the better way of doing that? What's the better way of doing those midline strikes? You see them in the ACSD template, typically a number 4 and a number 5 here, and then it comes up tight and it comes up down. First of all, it's an impact. Where are you targeting? You can't just say, I'm targeting the body. It's a good shot to the, no. The target, when you're doing it midline frontal, when you're doing it this way, it's very specific to the sternum, which is bone, and right at the end, you gotta know your anatomy, there's a sternal notch right in there. You tip that, you fracture that, that is gonna automatically slow things down. I guarantee you at the very least. Under that, right in around that same area, right below, there's a little, those of you that you dial back, if you're a healthcare professional, you ever did, in your human anatomy lab, you go back, you look at a cadaver, you see there's a mushroom-shaped muscle there called the diaphragm. And it's a muscle of inspiration. You need it for it. So when somebody gets flipped, somebody gets knocked down in sports, and people say they knock the wind out of it, what happens? That muscle spasms, so you have a hard time breathing. That's your target, and then it's 2 hands from up, down, and you chip. And yes, you practice it on a heavy, you can practice it on a heavy bag. Keep in mind, ACSD developed the power shot template with this tool. Okay, and we build power, this is another topic, by hitting, yes, an object so you can feel the transference. That all that is correct. But to say that this is going to be effective because it's effective there, no, because that individual's moving. So how do you use this thing? You use it as a secondary or a counter, right? When you cannot go into power and she cocks back and she cocks back with a strike and you're going towards a midline initially, but even then there's other areas that we prefer to hit, like the clavicle, right? The shoulder that attaches that AC joint. This fractures with about 12 pounds of pressure. With a power shot, you're going to hit so much harder. The secondary attack. She comes in. Here it is. Throw the ball. Bam! That turns. Look at the one. It goes with that deflection that you're going to do. And then 2 areas, you're either going to move in there or move to the ribs because the ribs run this way. And now you're taking something that's a 7/8, an inch, an quarter, whatever it is. Look at the size of this. And then you don't have to be super if you're coming in here, right? So if she comes in and I move back, pop, and I come in, right, 2-handed push, and I do this, there's a strike, and I come in, that's fine. If she comes in here, boom, and you turn her, she's coming in with a tool. You come in with a tool. She's coming in, check this out. She's coming up here and say, hey, boom, you move, look at that. Boom. That's how you're going to move in. And you're striking the ribs, and that's fine, and then you're going to need a follow-up. But guys, to do it with an initial shot, just from there, from an opener, that's going to be tough for the simple reason that you have to take into consideration that your opponent, is not a Zai. He can move. He's got reflexes. Might be younger, stronger, faster. This is the other situation that you run with that. If you goof it up right to the midline, here it comes, and I do this, and she crunches back fast. She tugged up. So what? I still got it. There's a better way of doing that. Use it as a secondary, know your anatomy, understand it's an impact tool. This is not going to pierce anything. Hey, that's not how it works. So, and by the way, I'm not mad. I just get passionate about these things. I hope it brings clarity to the topic. How can I be upset? Look at this weather out here, and winter cane immersion this week, and we get to meet many of you for the first time after seeing you right across the screen. It's special when that happens, and you meet each other, and you meet down here in Miami. Lifelong friendships. I know it sounds crazy, but lifelong friendships have ensued from these. The next one is in September, and you can go ahead and inquire. Just hit fall, text that fall 2023 to 305-745-7839. But before you do any of that, let's have a conversation. Take us up on that no-cost cane clarity call. It doesn't cost you anything, and I guarantee you're going to walk out of there and you're going to learn just from having that conversation. That would be, text the letters again, CCC, to 305-745-7839. We look forward to chatting with you. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense and American Cane Boxing. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.